What's up YouTube, Rossa HD here, make another video. I'm going to keep it simple today. We're going to kind of talk about the basics home theater, how to get into it on a really tight budget. But before we even start talking, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give me the thumbs up, you know the drill. So, on and on. My cat's going to bother me now, he's going to be up my butt. The first thing I want to throw out here is, I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is just kind of an average guy's interpretation of, you know, what to get, where to go, and so on. So where do we go? I want to get in a home theater. I have everybody asking me, hey Rich, I was over your house, it was great, I love it. I can't afford all that. I just want something in my living room, you know, the wife acceptance factor, that's a whole other video by itself. But just something I can have and, you know, kick around, throw a movie in and enjoy it, and just have a little better experience than a TV. So where do you go? Most of us are probably going to Best Buys. You know, Best Buy, Walmart. You go online. I like Parts Express, Monoprice, Accessories for Less. I've gotten some things from, I think Safe and Sound was another place, Adorama, etc. There's a bunch of places. Do your research. You know, when you're looking for these things, shop around. You know, get a good deal. Try to support local business when you can, but otherwise, you know, just look for the best deal for you. So that being said, what do I need? What do I get into? You know, who can I buy from? What's some good manufacturers and so on? You know, what do I need? Obviously, you're going to need a receiver, and I'm not going to get into any high-end stuff. This is about just getting my foot in the door with some basics. You can always upgrade later. You're going to need a receiver. You're going to need some speakers, a sub, some kind of source, and obviously a TV or something. So the first thing I want to kind of hit on is receivers. You know, who are some brands that are trusted and so on. Denon's a good one. I've had a few Denon receivers through the years, three of them actually. Yamaha would be another good receiver company. You can get into Onkyo. I've had those. Pioneer. Everything I've mentioned I've had too. Pioneer. You know, there's Sony and the list goes on and on. But you decide what's right for you. I mean, if it works in your budget, you know, go for that brand if it's something you like. Every manufacturer has good stuff and bad stuff. That's the best way I like to say it. There's things I wouldn't buy from some manufacturers, and there's things I'd swear by. So the basics on receivers and surround sound, you know, Dolby Atmos and DTS-X and Aura 3D. Those are things for a little later. The basics, you want to get into a 5.1 system. You know, there's 5.1, 7.1, you know, 5.1.2, and so on and so on. And you know, I have a 7.2, technically 7.3.4 system in this theater right now. And you're always going to upgrade. That's half the fun is the upgrades. But the basics is a 5.1. You know, you have your 5 mains, your left and right, your center, and your surrounds, and in a 7.1 there'll be 2 more in the rear. So that's kind of the basics where you want to get into, and upgrades are in the future. Getting an Atmos later if you can't afford it. But most manufacturers, you know, they have pretty cheap, affordable things in that kind of entry-level budget. Typically they start at around $250, and the sky's the limit after that. I'd say, you know, $250 to $500 is kind of the budget range. You know, you get into the $500 to $1,200 is kind of the mid-level area, and then when you get over $1,200, you start getting a little higher-end receivers that really give you all the little bells and whistles. And one of the things I want to throw out, and this has been said a million times on all the channels, you know, receiver power, it ain't always true. In fact, it's very rarely true. You know, they'll rate something at 120 watts times 7. There's no way that's putting that out. It's putting out maybe 120 watts with 1 channel or 2 channels, and the distortion is probably 1 or 10%. Ultimately, when you get all those 7 channels being driven, you're lucky if you're getting 30, 40, 50 watts out of them. But if you get the right kind of speaker, something that's sensitive, maybe that's okay. But the idea is just to get your foot in the door, get some basics going. So, you know, I have some notes here, so bear with me on this. But like I said, with the receivers, you're probably in that 250 and up range. Next, speakers. What do we get for speakers? I would stick with a bookshelf speaker. You don't have to get anything crazy. Something with a 4, 5 1/4, 6.5 inch woofer. tweeter. You could go horns, tweeters, soft dome. There's a zillion things out there. Decide what's right for you and what works in your budget. Something that'll play down probably to about 80 hertz, because that's pretty much the THX standard for the crossover. So 80 hertz is what you're kind of gunning for there. Who do you get from? I've been a Klipsch guy my whole life. I don't swear by them in any way, shape, or form, but I like Klipsch. I think it's good value, and that's the key here with Klipsch. SVS, it's another one. Everybody's talking SVS subwoofers. They make really, really good subwoofers, and their speakers are pretty solid too. You got Polk. I've had those. Yamaha, Pioneer, Dayton, ELAC, Monoprice. There's a bunch of affordable ones out there. I could talk about things like Bowers and Wilkinson, Kef, and so on, but you start getting out of the basics, the entry level point. So I don't really want to focus on those type of speakers, but all the other ones I talked about, starting price on them is typically anywhere from $75 to $200 for a small bookshelf monitor. And you get maybe, try to match 3 across the front. Match speakers are always good to have. It just keeps the sound the same. When you're watching a movie and somebody's talking and there's a pan left to right, it just keeps that same tonal quality. Obviously, that doesn't work for a lot of people with TVs and so on. So you get a center channel. You put it below or above the TV. Don't be afraid to angle your speakers, tilt speakers up and down. Get them so they're all pointing to the sweet spot or your center spot. Maybe you got to have a little balance, My wife's next to me, my dog's next to me, my mother-in-law's in the back seat. The heck with her, whatever it may be. Same thing goes for the sides. Bass, the 0.1, 5.1, 5.2. 2 subs is always better than 1. 4 subs is always better than 2, so on and so on. I'm not going to talk about 6.5 inch and 8 inch subs. They're not really subs. They're just little bass boxes. 10 is the absolute minimum. 12s, 15s, 18s. You can go crazy with these subs. But 10 inch, 12 inch sub, it's a good starter sub. You're going to have wattage 100, 200, 500 watts. Really, it's about how deep they go as well. The human ear, they say you can hear down to 20 hertz. You can feel tactile response below that. You're not going to get into something shaking the house for $100, I'll be honest with you. But, you might get a sub, a 10 or 12 inch sub. It reaches down to 30 hertz. So you'll feel it. It'll serve the purpose for now. This is about beginner systems, building into something bigger in time. So, you get 1 sub, then you get 2 subs. Santa comes, brings you a bigger sub, and that's the fun in all of this stuff. So, again, bookshelf speakers, subwoofers, 10 inch, so on. So you got your receiver, maybe you picked up a Denon, Nokia, whatever it may be, Pioneer. You got some speakers from Klipsch or SVS or whatever you like. Doesn't matter. It's whatever you like. What are you going to watch now? I'm still one for physical media. I do watch a lot of things online and stuff. So you get a. I'm not going to say Blu-ray player. We're going to go with 4K and everything. You want everything to be 4K compatible. 4K Blu-ray players, you're looking at probably $80 and up for just a basic one. Sony, Panasonic, all the major manufacturers. You could probably find them out there, $70, maybe even on sale. I have an Oppo player, Blu-ray player. I miss Oppo. I wish I could still get a 4K Oppo player, but they were kind of the gold standard within reason for players and stuff, 4K players, Blu-ray players. They're out of business. Panasonic now, that seems to be the one everybody is looking for, but it's about $1,000, I think. A little more than I wanted to spend right now. I picked up a Sony. I think it was $300. I got it at Best Buy. I wanted it quick. Boom, went and got it. I probably could have saved a few bucks if I shopped around, but that was okay that day. And it's serving me well. I use the Oppo when I'm watching just the Blu-rays. I think it's just a better quality player. You get a little better picture quality, but the Sony's fine for now. I will be upgrading that at some point. I'm not going to talk about 8K because it's not really here yet, not in the realm we can afford. And the other sources, I have a 4K Fire Stick. I have Fire Sticks on every TV in the house. I got the 4K sticks here and up in the living room. Some people have Roku's, Apple TV. But you pick what you like. I think the Fire Stick was $30 I spent on each Fire Stick. So they're not really too expensive, but the idea is the apps, the online content. I have accounts with Netflix, Amazon, Disney, there's Hulu, and so on. There's some pretty good apps out there too, for just watching TV shows and things like that. So let's kind of see what you're getting into. Most of the TVs, which I'm going to go into a little next, they're smart TVs. They have the built-in apps already, so you might not even need any of those other things. So you got to get a TV. Now, I'm not going to get into projectors and screens because I don't feel those are kind of entry-level points. But for TVs, 65-inch I'm going to say is the minimum. If you want any type of theater experience, 40-inch, 50-inch. I got a 50-inch in the bedroom, and I'd go even bigger in there if my girlfriend would let me. But I have a 70-inch up in the living room, and again, I'd go bigger in there if the girlfriend had let me. Down here, I got a 150-inch, acoustically transparent screen. So those are things I wanted to get in time, and I got them. But 65-inch minimum, you can buy the Hisense, more affordable TV, Samsung, Vizio, LG, the list goes on and on with televisions. You get what you pay for in all of this. Keep that in mind. If you buy the cheapest TV and the cheapest receiver and the cheapest speakers, they're only going to do so much. So only expect so much. Read the reviews, watch the reviews, I should say. But yeah, these TVs are pretty much starting. They're LEDs, light emitting diodes, I think it is. That's kind of the entry level. Those OLEDs, they're a different story. You're looking at $1,500 and up for 65-inch. But I've seen them as low as $450, $400 at Walmart and Best Buy, and there's other places online to get a TV. But I'd go with at least a 65-inch, maybe 70, 75, 80, whatever kind of suits your budget. Can click this up here. I've had so many systems through the years. I remember my first system, back in 89, 90. It was a 27-inch TV. I had a hi-fi VCR, a stereo receiver at that particular time, and a pair of speakers. And I built from there. I went with a surround Pioneer. It was a surround sound receiver. It was a Pioneer. I got it at a place used to service merchandise, I think I bought it at. And then I got some side surrounds. I bought Fisher speakers. Things grew through the years. I got better and bigger and things that just kind of grew with me. And it's awesome. And I've been into this for 30 years, 30 years. So don't feel that if you start with a small system that, that's the end of the road. You're gonna get different things. I will say if you are going to spend some money, sink your money into the speakers. And I say that because a good pair of speakers can last you 20 years. When you get into better equipment, maybe amplifiers are another thing. A good amplifier will last you 20 plus years. You get what you pay for. These receivers, everything's changing. Surround sound, Pro Logic, DTS, DTS-X, Atmos, 2-channel, 3-channel, 4-channel, 5-channel. It just goes on and on and on. So those are the things you're going to change every few years. But the amps, the speakers in particular, you get what you pay for. Buy some decent stuff if you can afford it. I say all this because I have some friends that were asking me again, well, how do I get into it? And some people think, $200-$300. That's a case, you get a sound bar. Soundbar's a soundbar. I have one upstairs in the living room. I'm trying to talk the girlfriend into something a little bigger than that, but they're not bad. They have a little bass kick to them, and they're definitely better than the speakers in the TV, but it is not the movie experience. You got to get in at least a 5.1 channel. Typically, some of the things I mentioned, you're already going to have. You probably already have the TV, so you're going to save some money there, but $400 or $500 for a TV, $200, $300, $400 for a receiver, maybe $500, $600, $700 for some speakers, $200-$300 for a sub, $100 for a source. You're sitting $1,500, $2,000. It's a lot of money, but it's not. In the grand scheme of things, it'll entertain you and entertain your family for years. And it's not like collecting watches or shoes. This is something that everybody gets to enjoy in the house. So, a good movie and some popcorn on a Saturday night, sitting home with the family. There's nothing better. So that's just kind of a rundown of some things that to think about. I'll get into more in-depth reviews of things in the future as I can. I'm looking at getting some other things down the line and doing some reviews on specific products. But that's kind of down the line. I can't wait for the day this channel grows big enough where they're sending me equipment and I get to make some videos. But to do that, I need you to subscribe again. You know, hit the like button, bell notification. Again, you know the drill. I think that's going to be my catchphrase. You know the drill. If you want to see more content, do those things. Until then, you have a great day, YouTube, and I'm looking forward to my next video to talk to you again. Have a good one.